Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Chrissy Clark. I'm filling in for the fabulous, the wonderful Isabel Brown as she is on not vacation, but fighting for the right of the unborn over in New Zealand. She's incredible. And I'm just so honored to be able to fill her spot. Never her presence, but maybe her spot in her chair just for the next day. I will also be here on December 11th while she just finishes up over there. I'm just incredibly jealous. I would do anything to go and travel right now. But alas, I get to spend my wonderful afternoon with you guys. What are you up to I'm just excited to hear what you guys are up to this weekend. Let me know. And let's just start off with what we're going to cover today. So lots to cover. We are going to solve or attempt to solve an incredibly difficult homework problem that is dividing parents across the internet. We are going to attempt to solve it together. So that'll be fun. And speaking of school, colleges seem to be having a massive anti-Semitism problem. It's alive and well on college campuses. And it was showcased at a congressional hearing this week featuring presidents of Harvard, MIT, Penn, and now they're groveling and attempting to give us an apology. So we'll go into that. Also, Louis Vuitton apparently made a racist boot. We'll talk about that. And a GOP lawmaker, his daughter has an OnlyFans problem. And we'll have to get into that as well. There's a ton to get into, but if you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment along during the video. Isabel would really appreciate it. If you want to come find me on any of my stuff, you can always just type in Chrissy Clark. It will get you to the right place, or you can go on your YouTube channel after this and find The Reaction with Chrissy Clark. Again, if you just type my name in, it'll all pop right up. But anyway, let us get started with this math question. I don't even know if you could call it a math question. I certainly wouldn't call it a math question, but it is a question of sorts that is apparently really difficult among students and parents alike. So I pulled up the article. I have not read this article, by the way. I glanced and when you start scrolling on something and you're like, no, I didn't want to see that. I saw that there are theories about this. Okay. But I didn't read what the theories were. I'm in complete denial. I don't want to know. All I'm being told is that there's something on my mic. Well, let's get that off. Okay. There is this math problem, I guess you could call it, or some sort of problem among first graders, and parents are stumped. So this is the question that's on the internet. It was put out by a mom who said, so my 6-year-old daughter, who's in year 1, got this homework question. It's confusing in my opinion, to say the least, especially considering the age it's aimed at, but I'd love to hear your answers. So this is the question, okay? Oh, awesome. I can blow it up, but I am in the way, so let me move. Just kidding. This is kind of just not working. I'm going to go back to this. Don't see. I don't want to see the answers. No. Okay. I'm losing with the internet, guys, right now. Okay. I'm not clicking anything. Hands are off the keyboard. Okay. So the prompt was, which word is the odd one out? And then you have to explain your rationale for why. So the options are friend, desk, toothbrush, egg, and silver. Now, my first instinct for this would be, well, they're kids. At this age, they're probably learning what a noun is versus it's probably some sort of English assignment, right? Or I don't know what kind of question this is, but it's my immediate feeling was go towards defining a noun, right? Which is a person, a place, or a thing. A friend is a person. A desk is a thing. A toothbrush is a thing. An egg is a thing. And silver is an adjective, which I would mean silver is the odd one out. That's my immediate reaction. If you guys have thoughts on this, will you let me know below? I'd love to hear what your opinion is on this. So then the theories come flooding in, okay? So let's see what people are saying. I have grandma eyes, so I'm going to have to put my glasses on. Give me 1 second, or I can't read it. I'm struggling today, guys. Let's put these on. Yeah. I literally cannot read without these anymore. I swear you turn 26 years old, and 26 is the new 80 apparently. Okay. So, as expected, the question elicited thousands of different responses from over 4,000 people, each providing their own unique take. Several parents pointed to friend as being the odd one out, noting that unlike others, it's not an object. Oh. How is silver an object? I know toothbrush is an object, desk is an object, egg is an object. How is silver an object? For a second, I was like, oh, is it sliver and not silver? No, it's silver. Silver's not an object, so you're stupid. That's wrong. Some argued it's an adjective while others are nouns. Well, yeah, that's what mine is. Others said it was both a noun and an adjective. Silver is not a noun. It's an adjective. It's used to describe something. What is a silver? Okay. Someone said silver isn't a noun, but I don't know the context in which the homework is asking. If it's confusing for adults, it would be incredibly confusing for children. I mean, you guys, this is incredibly confusing. I would have no idea what the heck is going on here because how do you know? Okay, let's see what other people wrote. They said, others thought it was egg as it's the only edible world. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, what? Your friends are edible? You guys, that was a real theory. It's what? Did I read that right? Egg is the only item you can eat. Not saying little people wouldn't eat or try to eat the other objects, but they are not food. Okay. Oh, okay. So egg is food. You cannot eat all of these other ones. Okay, good. I thought for a second we were arguing that friends can be eaten. I was like, no. I think at this age, like glue can be eaten, but certainly not your friends. It then goes on to say, that the answer is out. She revealed the answer the teacher gave us was silver because the rest are nouns. Okay. All right, I'm officially a genius, but I want to read the comments. Ooh, someone pointed out that egg has an odd number of letters. The other words all have an even number of letters. The key is in the question itself. That is a very good point, but it's not. It's not. Interesting. I thought it just was a fascinating conversation to have because I don't know. I didn't open this up. I was clickbaited by the New York Post into thinking that this was something of interest. And I fell for it. Okay. And now you fell for it too. And now you know the answer. So you can play this game with your family, with your friends, see if you can catch them being a bunch of dummies. LOL, I'm kidding. They're not dumb. That's a difficult question. And I wish our kids were learning things of more importance. But I guess it is good that they know what a person, place, and thing are. Am I right? Because I don't know. In modern education system, I guess I would be shocked. Or I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't know what that was. All right. Let's get on to our next topic. So if you guys don't know this already, I work for the Daily Caller. It's a conservative news organization founded by Tucker Carlson. He's obviously awesome. We love him. And the Daily Caller has put out a new documentary called Do No Harm. It's a great documentary. It really runs through the problem of current medical diagnoses and kind of exposes a lot of the problems that you're seeing with pharmaceutical companies attempting to make money off the back of people. And there's no greater example of that than what is going on with the transgenderism of kids and the quick rush of pharmaceutical companies to attempt to provide kids with cross-sex hormones. So my colleagues over at the Daily Caller put together this awesome video as part of the documentary exposing how easy it is for kids and adults to get their hands on transgender hormones, cross-sex hormones, okay? So I'm going to show you this video. For the record, this person that's doing it. She's an employee. She is not undergoing this care. She just wanted to make a point about, what was going on and what was problematic. So let's watch this video, okay?
Cross-sex hormones change your body in irreversible ways, but can you really obtain these drugs just by asking a doctor to give them to you? So I'm taking a look at Reddit to see what people recommend as the easiest way to get access to hormones. And most people recommend Planned Parenthood. They say I shouldn't need a doctor's diagnosis or a letter from a therapist.
Of course, the place that openly advocates for the murdering of young children and babies is also open to giving cross-sex hormones to kids. Are we even surprised by that? No, we shouldn't be.
Just be able to walk in, sign some forms, and get approved. I can craft a story about my trans identity, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get too much pushback. So I'm going to go ahead and call Planned Parenthood to make an appointment.
That's scary, that there's relatively no pushback, and we knew that we could call Planned Parenthood and get such easy access to these drugs, because these aren't just like random one-off drugs that have a limited problem. Like, I think you could make the argument that something like getting easy, well, no, like, I'm thinking about this. I used to be on SSRIs, which are like anti-anxiety drugs, right? A lot of kids get on those in high school, college, or another good example is like Adderall. I think like my fiance was on Adderall as well. Like, we both were on a drug like this for a while, and it was difficult to get access to those drugs. Like, I mean, Adderall relatively, like, if you want to go illegally, and do that, I'm not encouraging that. It's not the hardest drug in the world to get, but like via a doctor, like, you need to go in and see a doctor. They need to give you a prescription. You need to have like a diagnosis, et cetera, et cetera. The fact that it's seemingly more difficult to get an antidepressant than it is to get cross-sex hormones that alter your body for far longer than any SSRI is. It's not advocating that an SSRI is good, but like advocating that, wow, it's insane how easy it is to get access to these drugs.
Calling St. Pearsons, how can I help you?
Hi, I'd like to make an appointment for HRT.
Okay. That's your first time seeing the center?
Yes.
And, what's your preferred name?
Cole?
What's your current gender identity?
Man.
Your preferred pronoun?
He, him. And how soon, when I make the appointment, how soon can I like start treatment?
You should be obtaining a prescription that day.
Okay. Thank you.
You heard it there. You heard it there first. They were able, our employee was able to call and ask and say, okay, I want to make an appointment. Nothing else. I'll give you no other information. How quick can I get hormones? And boom, there it is. That same day as your appointment. So thank goodness for people like my company. I'm so proud to work here, because we need people to stand up and do this investigative work. Otherwise, no one else is going to do it. You think that any journalist worth their salt would just take 5 minutes to make this call and do it and then post it on their website? It doesn't take super long. Like, we made it look pretty, but like, this wasn't an intensive process. We're just exposing what's openly out there, but this doesn't fit the narrative. So of course they're not going to post about it.
Okay, I have got you scheduled for October 5th at 9 a.m. in our Charlottesville Center. You can arrive 10 to 15 minutes early, and we do ask that you bring in your photo ID, form of payment, and then a list of any medications.
Okay, and I can get treatment that day again?
Yeah, you'll be, they'll prescribe you with something that day.
Okay.
It does get sent over to the pharmacy, so
Okay.
it might take a day or so for the pharmacy to get it filled, but something should be written for you that day.
All right, thank you.
That is absurd. That is patently absurd that she can just call and have that filled for her so instantaneously. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How is this not on the front page of every news site, right? Like, I feel like we're being gaslit. We're being gaslit. This should be problematic from the get-go. Like, everybody should be screaming up in arms about how easy it is, that Planned Parenthood should not be allowing this. Like, I'm not advocating that we take away these treatments, right? I think they're disgusting. I think they butcher your body. I don't think it's God's intended way for you. That's my opinion. But when it comes to, you know, allowing people that want to do this, which we live in a free society. You can make an argument that we should be allowed or let people do this. At the same time, there should be regimented ways and standards of care in which people get this. We're told that, you have to see a psychiatrist and get a gender dysphoria diagnosis. We're told that it's not that easy to get cross-sex hormones, that people have to really suffer through this. That's clearly not the case. I mean, our employee just made this up out of whole cloth and is now on their way to get gender hormones. Let's keep watching, because I have a feeling it's about to get more insane.
Well, that was pretty easy. They haven't even seen me yet. They didn't ask me a single question about my health, but they've already reassured me twice that I can get HRT after one visit. So I guess we'll see if I get any pushback at my appointment. I'm about a block away from Planned Parenthood. I'm about to go in for my HRT appointment. I have disguised myself as a trans man. They said on the phone that I should be able to get testosterone prescribed after just one appointment, so we're going to...
Real quick, I do just want to interject and say it's so funny that relative to the other video, all she did was like put on some glasses, a beanie, and an oversized jacket. Like, if this was plaid, we'd be wearing the same jacket. If I put my hair up and in a beanie and wore my she's not dressed any different. And I think that's what's so funny. Not that there really is anything that funny, but like, it is a little comical to see how easy Planned Parenthood is to trick, because they're almost so stupid about this. They sincerely believe that if you put put a beanie on and declare yourself transgender, that you are transgender, that makes you a man, that it's physically impossible. But beyond that, it's absurd. And it's funny to see how easy it is to fool people with an ideology that is so transparently stupid.
And see if that's true.
Howdy.
So, here is a packet on starting masculinizing therapy with us. Ready, you'll sign there and hit OK, and then afterwards I'll sign as a witness.
So we'll start with one pump on each upper arm and shoulder a day.
This is so easy to obtain. Like, she's not in there for a long time. And I'm going to move myself so that you guys can see the captioning on this, because it's crazy. They're saying, this is somebody at Planned Parenthood saying, we'll start with one pump on each upper arm and shoulder a day. So making it so easy. And if you notice, look at this little, transgender pride pin. Like, they're pushing this forward. They are pushing this forward. There's no denial about this. But again, don't be surprised that this is happening. Of course this is happening. Of course. It's happening at Planned Parenthood. Why wouldn't it happen at Planned Parenthood? All right, let's keep watching.
You just want to make sure that you wash your hands really well afterwards, so you're not like masculinizing your cat or whatever. All right, so you're going to bring this downstairs with you and give it to the folks at the front desk, and they'll get you checked out. Okay?
Well, clearly what we've seen is that it's very easy to just walk in and do this, because that's literally what I just did. I did the bare minimum to get this prescription, and I got it within, 2 hours? Not even 2 hours. I was in there for an hour. In terms of medical judgment, they didn't really use any. There wasn't a medical assessment of me. It was just trusting my judgment as someone who just wants something. and they're acting more as a dispensary than a doctor diagnosing someone.
Yeah. That's the new thing, though. It's very easy to they'd rather just give you these puberty blockers and get you to shut up, because the goal is not to help you. The goal is to sterilize you or to give you medicine. And this topic, I find it to be so incredibly fascinating, and it really does tie in when it comes to conspiracy theories per se. And I don't want to get conspiratorial. I'm not conspiratorial generally as a person, but you almost sound conspiratorial when you talk about transgender ideology, because what happens is that pharmaceutical companies will pay doctors and research scientists. So these researchers will do studies on the long-term effects of transgender transition and whatnot, and they'll all come back with favorable results. But then you see that the people that did these studies are also funded by the pharmaceuticals that benefit from a good study being done about them, right? If y'all have ever seen the movie or the show Dope Sick, it's so in tandem the way that the transgender medical lobby is working. They are working hand in hand with doctors right now in order to get these prescriptions in front of people so that they can benefit from it, so that they can make money from it. And you almost sound conspiratorial when you talk about it. I understand that. I'm not like lost on it, but it's not a conspiracy. It's a real thing, and it's a real problem that's happening. And I just find it to be appalling. I do. I find it to be appalling the way that people are just allowed to have access to drugs without real informed consent. Like I was saying, I was on anti-anxiety drugs, and very obviously I had a lot of trouble getting off of them. And I felt, wow, I was 18 when I started getting on these drugs, and I feel like no one ever told me how difficult it was going to be to get off of them. If you've ever been on any of them, they're so hard to get off of. You have like literal, speaking of dope sick, like you have literal dope sick, like you have physical withdrawals from these pills, and you really don't have any real feeling or understanding of how difficult it's going to be. And I feel like if that's a problem with SSRIs, which again, like, yes, it's difficult to get off of them, but other than that, like, there's not too many side effects of it relative to cross-sex hormones. I mean, these doctors were not telling our employee over the Daily Caller all the side effects that were going to happen, that her voice was going to be permanently changed. I've talked to these people who are detransitioners. It's a big problem. It's just not talked about. There is no informed consent on this matter. And it really scares me, for the future of America. We see time and time again problems with like iPad kids, and they're awful. And we saw the problems with COVID kids, and they're struggling. I wouldn't go see a doctor if they were ever in school during the COVID pandemic, right? There's just so many problems that we've seen from our public schools, and the way we've told kids to eat in society. You guys, there are so many things that are adding up to the problems that we're seeing play out on a large scale stage. And I can't believe I'm about to do this, but I do want to detour from talking about conspiracies to talking about the man who is considered one of the biggest conspiracy theories yet. Yes, I want to talk about none other than Alex Jones. And we'll get to that. But by the way, I just want to let you guys know, Isabel and I had chatted really quick, and she was generous enough to take some of her vacation time and fix the comment section. So if you guys would please drop some comments so we can chat. We weren't really able to do that before, so let's chat. Jessica, I saw you saying it's very disappointing that Taylor Swift has the courage and integrity to go against right-wing ideologies that her conservative parents trained her. That's a really weird comment. I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm going to be honest. But let's get to Alex Jones, okay? So, if any of you guys watched the Tucker Carlson Alex Jones interview yet, I'm not going to play any of the clips because I don't want to get Isabel demonetized. I don't want to put anybody in trouble or harm's way, nothing like that. Nor do I explicitly endorse anything that Alex Jones says or does, but I wanted to bring this to your attention because I thought it was just an interesting topic, all right? So, oh, Alex Jones, where to begin on this man's? So he was saying in his video that he thinks the government right now is attempting to crack down on the private ownership of motor vehicles, specifically cars. So he was arguing that corporations, the government, do not want us to have access to cars. Now, I'm just going to give you a personal anecdote. I'm not saying it's fact or gospel, but this man has predicted a lot of things correctly. You can love him, you can hate him, you can think he's a freaking freak, but he's predicted a lot of things correctly. And Alex Jones is now saying that it's tough to get a car. And my fiance and I are actually right now currently trying to get a private party auto loan, and it's impossible. Bank of America was the only institution that provided private party auto loans, and just within the last month and a half, they got rid of their private party auto loans, and their private loans that they offer can't be used on automobiles. So unless we come up with 20 grand, we have no way of purchasing the car that we have. There's no loan process for this. We would just be down a car. Luckily, we have family that will help us. But I find it incredibly odd that he says this at the same time that the last big financial institution that offered private party auto loans is now gone. And if you look at any of the other private party auto loan solutions that are out there, they will wreck you. They will take your money and some. They're not just like loans with normal rates. These are, for better lack of a words, rape rates. They're awful. And I think that there is some merit to that conversation. So if you guys have had any experience with this, will you drop a comment? Because we are desperately trying to figure out what to do. And I'm not using Isabel's platform to try and figure out our own personal problems with banking, but I just found it interesting because the man's been right about so many things, and I'm seeing it bear out in my own life, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought Alex Jones was crazy, but maybe he's kind of a little right. All right, just saying. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Anyway, drop some comments, guys. Light up the comment section. I have not heard from you guys enough, and I'm sure it's just because the comment section was not open or available, but it is now, so get in there. Okay, let's get into my thoughts on the debate, okay? So did y'all watch the debate on Wednesday night? I thought it was the debate that America deserved. It was a good debate. It was thoughtful. It asked good questions. Megyn Kelly, my girl, I mean, she crushed it. I thought she did an awesome job. And it just was all around really, really good. So anyway, I say that to say sometimes when these debates are good, they're really bad and boring to watch. And it was hard to watch. I will not deny it. I was like falling asleep. I'm like, Vivek would say something and it would like kind of wake me up. But then other than that, and then Christy would yell and I was like, like it would freak me out for a hot second. But like, you know, then we would wake back up and nothing of importance was really happening there. And again, it just feels like a bunch of like second rate people that are trying to get attention. And I'm like, none of this matters without Donald Trump. Right. But if we're going to deconstruct the debate that happened, let's deconstruct the debate that happened. DeSantis was clearly paired up with Vivek, and Nikki Haley was clearly teamed up with Christie. And I've been listening to a lot of analysis on this, and I've obviously been forming my own thoughts as well on this. And I think overall for that debate performance, it mattered who was backing you, right? While a lot of people, I won't say whether myself or not because I'm just here to be a pundit. While Vivek can be annoying to some people, he has a lot of credibility among the Republican base and the Trump MAGA crowd. And for Ron DeSantis, his entire campaign, he struggled to gain and garner credibility among that crowd. So to have Vivek openly saying, I would technically be your guy post-Trump, I also like DeSantis. I thought that was a good backing for DeSantis, if you know what I mean. Whilst Christie, who has a 25% approval rate among Republicans, being on Nikki Haley's side, I don't think that did anything for her. In fact, the way he kept coming in and like trying to defend her, it really didn't do wonders for her whole like lady boss thing that she does that I find to be incredibly cringe. She should have just said politely, I appreciate your support, but I can do this myself, Chris. Like, she needed to step up and say something for herself. And I thought the fact that she didn't was a disappointment. And I don't know if she was trying to be quiet for the sake of donors or what her whole point was, but I just found it to be bad. But I will say what I thought was my favorite part of the debate, easily, bar none, was this meme that I guess Tim Pool like officially put it out, but it was a moment in the debate. It was Vivek, and this original notepad said Nikki equals corrupt. It was so funny. It was a great moment in the debate. And I just think it was really, really funny. So I'm seeing from comments right now, deranged left-wingers is saying DeSantis picked the wrong time to run. Yeah, I mean, I totally understand that argument. He could have waited till 2028. He probably would have gotten the blessing of Donald Trump and he would have run away. You know, he would have walked away running. But I think the conventional logic when Ron DeSantis got in was Trump has too much baggage to get past this. He's probably going to go to jail. And I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying that was the conventional knowledge, and that's probably what a lot of advisors were telling him, and probably a lot of never Trumpers were telling him who disguised themselves as conservatives. You know, like a lot of never Trump people that were like, no, I did like Trump. I voted for him, but they're actually secretly never Trumpers. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get into watching or looking at some of these hilarious memes that were created. They're so freaking funny. I can't stop laughing at them. So this is the blank canvas. And if you guys have them, you know, toss them in there for me because I think it's so funny to watch. But anyway, these are some of the examples of people, you know, what people put. This is, I haven't read these. So Nikki Haley should drop out and start her OnlyFans career, continuing to bend over for Israel. It feels a little sexist to me. Like, I always judge comments on whether they're sexist or not. Not that I don't like to cry sexism. Like, when you're calling women prostitutes, it's just not a good look. Okay? And I don't know if I liked that one. But I did laugh a little. I chuckled. Epstein did not kill himself. Yep. Okay, love that one. Oh, that's gross. Oh, look. There's Dark Brandon Vivek. Dark Vivek. Oh, that sounds racist. But, oh well. Get Vivrect? I mean, this comment right here. OMG, so bad it's almost good. Almost. Like, it's almost there. Get Vivrect. But maybe if you did get Virect, I don't know. That just sounds like that's not working for me. What else we got? Is that Harambe? That's Harambe. That's the best one. That wins meme of the week. Harambe meme. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This one. J6 was an inside job. Oh, that was so interesting. Did you guys watch that part of the debate where Vivek was like talking about it? It was interesting. I'm not going to say whether I agree or disagree. What I will say is I thought it was an odd time and place to bring this up. I'm seeing from Alex Pedron. Hey, Alex, I remember you from the other day. Thanks for tuning in again. You asked, do you think DeSantis could stay relevant 2 years out of office? Politics is all about timing, and this was his time to run. Who knows if he would have been popular in the future? Yes, that is such a good point. Such a good point. It is really hard to stay relevant. It seems easy, like, to us. Oh, like, go on podcasts, go on shows, but it's very difficult to get booked on those shows if you're not constantly doing something new. And if you're not in public service, you're not constantly doing something new. And like, what is he going to do for 2 years? Really, this was his time to run. And I think a lot of people that are ardently Team DeSantis are like, I just wish like this would have been so easy. And I'm not saying this is me. I'm just saying this is the argument that if Donald Trump were not so narcissistic, he would see that it's for the good of the party to have his agenda move on and leave it to Ron DeSantis. And we know that in 2 years, he's going to be far less relevant, as Alec aptly pointed out, and, you know, give him this time to become president and back him. And I think that's always been something that, like, personally I've grappled with or wondered about, is like, Donald Trump had this opportunity, and I'm happy he's running. Like, I want the American people to have their say, but I do just wonder, I'm like, why would you not just want to be the kingmaker, right? Like, why would you not want to just be the person that everybody loved your first year? You can claim you were robbed of your second term, but it's not that you're giving up. You just believe so much in MAGA policies. You want to see somebody that could implement them for years and years and years. I think that's, you know, a fair assessment too. That's how I've always felt about the situation. Just like, I appreciate him and I like what he did, but I just feel like he would have rocked it as a kingmaker too, is all I'm saying. There was no bad way. The final thing I want to talk about when it comes to debate stuff is, did y'all see that CNN is getting another 2 sets of debates? Now, I saw this, and initially I was like, probably like all of you guys, are you kidding me? CNN, which spent years promoting the Russian conspiracy theory hoax, years promoting Don Lemon, whatever you want to call him, years promoting left-wing garbage talking points and no semblance of journalism. You're telling me that the RNC is going to give 2 debates to those ninnies? For real? I just couldn't believe it. Then I find out that it really wasn't anything to do with the RNC sanctioning it. It's that the RNC has sanctions on candidates. So candidates are not allowed to go and debate against other Republicans in a forum that's not approved by the RNC. And the RNC has now dropped those standards after this 4th debate that just happened with Megyn Kelly and News Nation and the Washington Free Beacon. So once that was done, then that those sanctions were done. Now CNN can come in and say, well, we'd like to host this debate. And I think it'll just be interesting when to see whether the candidates decide to get in the ring. I know Vivek will, because he says, I mean, that's his whole MO. If he doesn't, it'd be shocking. But his whole MO is, I'm going to go on wherever, I'll fight wherever, I'll do whatever. Ron DeSantis has been very back and forth on this. He's very much of the political belief that he doesn't want to give money, time, endorsements towards news outlets that obviously propagate lies. And, you know, I think there's some merit to that argument as well. What would you guys do? Drop a comment. Let me know. What would you do if you were a candidate? You had the opportunity to go on a debate stage, but you didn't have to. And it was CNN hosting it. Would you do it? I think I would, and then I would spend the entire debate explaining to the viewers at home why CNN is a bunch of leftist garbage nonsense and why you should never trust them. And yeah, that's what I would do. But I mean, if I were navigating this situation, I would navigate things a lot differently. And that does not exclude. That's the word I'm looking for. What's happening on college campuses right now? Yo, guys, I want to go in as like a PR crisis manager right now and rattle the presidents of MIT, Harvard, and UPenn and be like, you're being anti-Semitic. Have you guys seen what's going on with all of these colleges? So Harvard, the presidents, I should say, of Harvard, MIT, and UPenn, they all went before Congress and they were asked whether calls for a genocide against Jews were considered code of conduct violations at their colleges, and they could not say yes. For the life of them, they couldn't say yes. So Liz McGill, who is the president of the University of Pennsylvania, put out this groveling apology video that I want to watch, and it is as pathetic as it sounds, but let's watch this. Let's see what Liz has to say.
There was a moment during yesterday's congressional hearing on anti-Semitism when I was asked if a call for the genocide of Jewish people on our campus would violate our policies. In that moment, I was focused on our university's longstanding policies aligned with the US Constitution, which say that speech alone is not punishable.
It's only funny though, and I'm not encouraging the anti-Semitism, but it's just so funny that this woman is out here saying, I'm so focused on free speech. No, you're not. Do you guys remember when we had to have, when these same college campuses were deeming MAGA hats like unsafe for campus culture? And these kids, if you go and you stand in the middle of UPenn and yell, there are only two genders, you're getting in huge, serious trouble. Yet here we are. No trouble for this woman now. It's no problem when you call for the genocide of Jews. It's only a problem when you wear a MAGA hat. Do you see how hypocritical that is? It's so wildly hypocritical. I saw a comment come in from Franklin who said, what about the anti-whiteism that has been going on these colleges for decades? Yeah, I think that's kind of been something that Tucker Carlson and I think Candace Owens, when Candace Owens was on his show, they were talking about this a lot, about, I don't necessarily think they phrased it the right way, but essentially their argument was like, hello, Jews, we've been trying to tell you this for a long time. Why were you not doing about anything of this? Why were you not doing anything about this in the past? But now that it's your people that they're coming for, now you want to do something about it. And you know what? My response has always been better late than never. Sometimes when it doesn't directly impact you, it doesn't mean it's not wrong. It just means that, you didn't see the problem that it was. And yeah, I mean, it's true. This has been problematic for a long frickin' time. And it's about dang time that people do something about it and say something about it, because it's a problem and it's always going to be. But let's hear Liz out a little bit more.
I was not focused on, but I should have been, the irrefutable fact that a call for genocide of Jewish people is a call for some of the most terrible violence human beings can perpetrate. It's evil, plain and simple. I want to be clear.
I'm sorry, it's a little funny how bad she is at this. I'm not calling myself a genius. I'm 26 years old and I use YouTube for a living. Even I knew the correct answer for this hearing was yes. Like, it's not hard. It's just not that hard to get this answer right. It's just not. I don't know how. It's simply just not that difficult. Anyway.
A call for genocide of Jewish people is threatening, deeply so. It is intentionally meant to terrify a people who have been subjected to pogroms and hatred for centuries and were the victims of mass genocide in the Holocaust. In my view, it would.
I can't believe I'm laughing and saying the word Holocaust in the same sentence right now, because did she just learn about the Holocaust? Like, is she just like post her terrible garbage crap time saying, or time on Congress on Capitol Hill going, oh, the Holocaust. Did you not know about the Holocaust before that congressional testimony? Is that what you're telling me? I'm literally rattling my I'm just like, I'm floored at the stupidity. I need to make shirts that say college is a scam, because I know you guys would buy them because you know it's true. It's true. College is a scam. And if you buy into college, you buy into morons like this being correct. They forgot about the Holocaust on Capitol Hill. Just the dumbest human beings.
Harassment or intimidation. For decades, under multiple Penn presidents and consistent with most universities, Penn's policies have been guided by the Constitution and the law. In today's world, where we are seeing signs of hate proliferating across our campus and our world in a way not seen in years, these policies need to be clarified and evaluated. Penn must initiate a serious and careful look at our policies, and Provost Jackson and I will immediately convene a process to do so.
There you have it, guys. Don't worry your pretty little minds. Liz McGill is going to save her job and the university by creating a council that's going to help figure out where anti-Semitism is coming from. I'm trying not to shake and scream. I really am. But we know where the anti-Semitism is coming from, you dumbass. I'm sorry, I don't think Isabel swears on this program, but I'm trying to keep it together. Because what do you mean we're going to have to convene a task force? You don't need to. Go to Students for Justice at Palestine. These dummies are the same people that are openly calling for a genocide of Jews. There's your problem right there in front of you. The people tearing down posters of hostages who were kidnapped and assaulted in Israel and are now being, again, harmed and captured and kept in captivity in Gaza. It's pretty simple. It's just not that difficult. But she's acting like you need a whole council to figure this out. You're a smart cookie. I thought you were, Liz. I feel like the correct answer is resign, but.
As president, I'm committed to a safe, secure, and supportive environment so all members of our community can thrive. We can and we will get this right. Thank you.
I think I'm realizing now that I wasn't on, that my voice was not on during that whole thing. I was just calling that woman pathetic because she is pathetic. I don't know if that was on or if you could hear my audio on that. Yeah, muted. I was muted. Sorry about that. But I was just calling her pathetic, and I said it felt like a hostage video. And Noam, put out this great tweet that said, I've seen Hamas hostage videos that felt less forced than this. And yeah, that was the point I was trying to get at, guys, it just feels like this whole thing is very fake. It's created by, this woman in hopes of getting or in securing and keeping her job. She doesn't actually care, guys. She just wants to keep her job. And sorry about the muting. We fixed that. Anyway, there are a few other topics I want to get to because we're almost to the end of our time together. What should we do? Should we talk about boots that might be racist, or should we talk about a GOP lawmaker's OnlyFans problem? Let's talk about the racist boots first. How about that? This video, it makes me laugh, okay? So these boots, they are from Louis Vuitton, and they are racist, ? Because they only have 2 different skin colors. Let's watch this together.
Hi, you're Paul, and you know nothing about fashion, but let me educate you. Louis Vuitton has a brand new shoe for its fall-winter collection for nearly $2,500. The LV Illusion ankle boot. Yes, these ankle boots create the illusion of a leg with a sock and a shoe.
First of all, those are hideous. I know these elite style gurus are going to try and convince me that this is cool and trendy. They're not an illusion either when the skin tones don't match. And you can't convince somebody that some sort of like rubber looks like a sock. Why wouldn't you just buy black heels and wear socks with them? That's hideous enough. Oh my gosh. Now just wait.
Because only povos have their legs out in ankle socks and shoes. And you can even get them in different skin colours. Because, well, diversity.
Are those $2,470 for the ugliest boots I've ever seen? And let's just be frank. I'm just ahead of it. You're ahead of it. You've seen this video now, okay? You're ahead of it. Give it 2 weeks before Louis Vuitton is considered canceled because they put out a racist boot because it only has 2 skin colors. I guarantee it. There's going to be people that say, why is the brown only one shade of brown? Is this the ideal shade of brown, Louis Vuitton? Is this the ideal shade that black people are supposed to be? What about darker people? What about light-skinned people? What about other shades of that? No one's going to say anything about the white boots, because the white boots, who cares what the white people think, right? But, they're going to have a whole problem. What about the Asian Pacific Islanders and all these people? This will be a story. I guarantee it. But let's hear the rest of it.
Louis Vuitton innovators in fashion are trying to blur the lines between woman's leg and shoe. The staff worked long hours meticulously to create the rib of this sock and the shine of this shoe, and also to create 2 different human shades. And I know you povos out there are going to be thinking, what's the point of this? But that's just because you're jealous. You can't even afford shoes from Shoe Zone.
Yeah, I don't want to be able to afford shoes that ugly. I don't ever want to see shoes that ugly. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that's a frickin' thing. I thought I was muted again. I was like, oh no, I did it again. Yeah, I don't want those shoes. But also, can we talk for a second about how those shoes are probably going to be utilized by transgender men? People are going to wear those, like men are going to wear those in order to have women legs and socks in the ankle look. It's going to be a thing. I see in the comments that someone said fashion is dead. Yep, it's been dead for a while. Look at the way that the teeny boppers dress nowadays. They look like a bunch of androgynous losers because they dress like men and they think it's cool. And that's why I'm arguing that transgender people are going to utilize these boots in order to look more feminine. It's going to be a thing. I guarantee you. They take sports from women. They take everything from women, and now they want to take fashion, and they're going to do that by utilizing the ugliest boots I've ever seen on planet Earth. Okay, in our last little bit of time together, we got about 8 minutes. If you guys have questions, comments, any other topic you want me to get to today, drop it in now so I can kind of make that mental note of how much time we have. But I do want to go over this article I saw in Politico this morning. Now, normally I wouldn't really care about Politico, but I just found this to be so interesting. So, a GOP lawmaker said he ousted an aide who targeted his daughter for her OnlyFans account. There's so much going on here. We've got to unpack it, okay? Again, all I saw was the headline in this morning's edition of Politico. And I really read the news in the morning to hate read the news to see what ridiculous, stupid thing that the news is saying that day. So I can, be alert to know this is stupid. This is a bad topic. I should not talk about this today. And so usually I never see an underreported story per se in Politico. So I was very shocked to see this. And that's why I wanted to bring it up to you guys. So this is an article that reads, a Republican member of Congress is alleging that a former top aide spearheaded a vindictive threat to expose his daughter's OnlyFans. Representative Brandon Williams of New York, Republican, told Politico that his former chief of staff and former legislative director attempted to retaliate against him using his 27-year-old daughter's account on OnlyFans, which is obviously, if you don't know this, it's a form of corn, as I'm going to call it, okay? Now, I think what he was trying to do here is he was trying to brand this chief of staff and former top aide as awful people that would, expose a grown woman's OnlyFans page or expose the connection between a Republican and his daughter's OnlyFans. And I gotta say, bad PR choice. Really bad PR choice. The smart thing to do would be to keep those comments, keep a record of the things that were texted, any threats, keep them. And maybe don't share with the world that your 27-year-old daughter has an OnlyFans. Now, I feel the same way about this as I feel about the comments that Vivek made about Nikki Haley's daughter being on TikTok. When your child is 26, 27 years old, as I am, you don't have control over us, okay? My mom tells me all the time, Chrissy, stop swearing on the internet. And you know what I don't do? I don't stop swearing on the internet because it makes people laugh, and I like it, okay? It's how I get my energy out. And I'm sorry she doesn't have control over that, right? At a certain point. And I think that it's not fair to say, oh, you know, like, you can't control your kids at that age. What I do think is fair is you've still raised your kid. Why is your daughter in a position where she's opting to be an OnlyFans content creator when you're in public service? I think it's so odd. So let's keep reading this. It says, according to Williams, the two former staffers, Michael Gordon and Ryan Sweeney, oh, it's men. For some reason, I just imagined them being women. These men were threatening to expose his daughter after Williams fired them. Williams' remarkable decision to go public about this feud is a bet that his political future will be improved by laying out its highly personal details. He spoke with Politico days after a Syracuse University student journalist shared a video of him in a profanity-laced confrontation with Gordon outside of a holiday party in Washington. Okay, so this is why it came to light. Gordon was trying to exert some leverage over me, Williams said, and I simply won't allow that to happen. So this is an attempt to blackball the staffer, Michael Gordon, right? I think it's, for sure, problematic. And the story was going to come out eventually. I just don't know if, like, going forward and talking to Politico about it is the right thing. Like, if Politico approached you, maybe, but I feel like he went to Politico with the story, which I find to be odd. Then, for the record, Gordon did say the allegations against the congressman that were levied against him were categorically false. I don't know. I don't know where I fall on that issue. It's just interesting. I don't know if I would have done my PR strategy that way. I certainly would never encourage anybody to be on OnlyFans, nor would I encourage these people to be talking about their daughters being on OnlyFans. Not good PR, my friends. Anyway, before I get to your guys' questions, because I do see you guys have some questions, I just want you guys to know that today's video was brought to you by Public Square. I just want you guys, if you want to support Isabel, if you want to support her show, please be sure to go check out Public Square, okay? It's a platform with more than 70,000 businesses, small businesses. They're all pro-life, pro-family, and pro-freedom. Please go check them out, especially if you're looking for good places to buy gifts for the holiday. We've been using Public Square at my house, so you can go to www.publicsquare.com. You can also add your small business to the roster. This is just a great opportunity for us to use our power as conservatives, libertarians, independents to give a big FU to government censorship and businesses that hate our values. Anyway, I'm going to get to questions right before we're about to finish this off. So Alex asked, thoughts on the DINK lifestyle? It's going viral on TikTok. So if you guys have not heard about this DINK lifestyle, DINK means there are two things. There are DINKs and there's DINK-WADs. DINKs are double income, no kids, and DINK-WADs are double income, no kids with a dog. Now, technically, I am a DINK-WAD, so I can only criticize so much given that I have no kids, right? I have no kids. I treat my child or my dog like a child because he is my child right now. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want kids and I don't want it in the future. My problem with the DINK and the DINK-WAD videos that are going so viral is that basically the entirety of the video is bragging about how great your life is without kids. And it's a lie. It's propaganda that's being fed to young kids, being told that your life gets terrible once you have kids. Your life does not get terrible when you have kids. Your life is enhanced. Vacations are enhanced. Everything is enhanced by having more family to share it with. It's the lie of the feminist narrative that it's not. That being a DINK is a great thing. And listen, if people want to make jokes about being a DINK or a DINK-WAD in their 20s, go ahead. Jake and I, which is my fiance, we make jokes about being DINK-WADs all the time. All the time. In fact, we came up with our own. We called our gay couple friends that have a dog, we call them DIGs. We call them double income gays zaddies, okay? We think this is a hilarious acronym. All of it's funny to me. What's not funny to me is when this is encouraged as a long-term lifestyle. When you're double income, no kids with a dog in your early 20s, mid 20s, and you're going to start to have kids in your late 20s, early 30s. I don't mind that. I don't mind that everything's being pushed back maybe a couple more years than it was 20 years ago. The fact that we're able to have fully functioning full frontal cortexes at the age of 25 and wait to get married until that happens, I'm not necessarily opposed to that, especially for secular couples. Not opposed to that. What I am opposed to is 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds saying that this is the preferred lifestyle and this is how you should live, right? Anyway, Alex just called me cringe. People who treat their pets like their children are cringe. Have you not experienced love of a dog? Go get a dog. And Roman said dogs are the best kids. I mean, and Roman also said, LOL, might need the dinkwad life because inflation. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I could have a kid right now, but that's not far off for us. We're hoping to do that in the next couple of years. And I also, one more thing before I sign off, I also think you're going to see an increase in the dinkwad lifestyle for a very interesting reason. And I know we're primarily talking to a male audience, but guys, this is something y'all should be aware of. Unlike any generation in previous years, women are seeing rising rates of PCOS. It's a horrible disease that women are struggling from, and it causes infertility and so many problems with having children, with being able to have regular periods. And I know it's gross and cringe, we don't want to talk about it, but for real, you guys, it's becoming a big problem because of birth control and the lack of informed consent in studies that were gone into birth control. And a lot of women struggle for it. So while it's fun to poke fun at dinkwads and it's not the lifestyle we want to encourage for people, at the same time, I do think that it's some form of comfort to people, as the dinkwad lifestyle might not be, or just the dink lifestyle might not be anything like that might be all these people ever get to know because of infertility. And that's why we should encourage adoption, and we need more pro-life people in this country so we can push for that and people can still have children, it just in different ways, and families can look a little different. Alex said he's getting a dog for Christmas, so maybe your opinion will change, but as of now it's cringe. Alex, go on TikTok or Instagram and watch people that will say, my dog's not allowed on my couch, and now the dog cuddles with them in their bed and shares their pillow. Your opinion will change, my friend. And oh my gosh, I hope you enjoy the puppy. Okay, I'm excited to see all of you guys again. I will be back here December 11th for one last live stream on this channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me, for spending this time. I had a blast with you guys. Again, if you ever have questions or you want to come follow me on my channel, you can type in Chrissy Clark or The Reaction with Chrissy Clark, and I'll see you over there. All right, I'll see you guys on December 11th. Bye.